Well, Reg Militia, the riot of the people. I messed up the words, but you all know what it ends with. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed.
There we go. This is Nightstryke here. I'm doing an impromptu chat because I need some advice and opinions on a few things. Specifically, my NRA membership comes up on the 31st of this month, and we're just the first week into January. So I figured, since I'm sitting around doing nothing on the computer, I might ask you guys if you guys could help me decide whether I should renew it or drop it. I got a couple people in here. I got a couple invites sent out if they jump in. But I got Gizzard Gary here. Say hello, Gary.
Hello.
I've got Potatoes and Lead.
Hey, thanks for the invite.
And just like every episode of Hit or Miss, last but certainly not least, we have Travis P11.
Hey, man, appreciate the invite. Thank you very much.
All right. So guys, help me out here. Should I renew my membership or should I tell the NRA to take a hike?
Okay, let me tell you why I didn't renew the NRA with my membership this year. It was a combination of things. First of all, it was the whole bump fire stock debacle, which now my state is looking at banning bump fire stocks and suppressors, by the way. That's two of the things that's in the same bill that just got sent to me. Back during the Second Amendment rally, when all that was going down, I was talking to the president of the Nebraska Firearms Owners Association, and she had told me that anytime there's any anti-gun legislation that comes up in our Capitol building, that she is there with, the legal advice and the lobbyists and stuff, and they're presenting sound information and facts to convince our representatives to not vote for anti-gun legislation. And I say, well, who else is there with you? And she goes, nobody. She goes, and then there's 19 anti-gunners that testify after me, or 20 every single bill. And I go, the NRA's not here? I go, do you guys get anything from the NRA? And she goes, no. And I'm like, okay, all right, that pretty much sums it up for me right there. The NRA has enough money and enough resources and enough manpower that they should have a pro-gun representative that can speak in every single Capitol building in our country. There's no reason why they can't do that. And because they don't, that's why the NFOA and the GOA gets my money. It's that simple. They're not going to be there on the local level to defend my state. And look at what I got to put up with now. New bills for 2018 to infringe on my rights. I am not going to support you. They've got hundreds of millions of dollars. They can afford to put a person. Do the math. What's $100,000 a year times 50 lobbyists or 50 representatives? They pay that guy $100,000 a year.
Yeah. Well, here's another something thing. I got a letter from them today, and granted, it's this standard generic form letter, with a photocopied signature of LaPierre, the standard shit. Which they don't need to be sending this. If they wanted to keep some of their money, instead of printing this shit out, keep some of that money, use it to actually fight for the stuff they say they fight for, instead of, take credit for other groups doing the fucking work. And excuse my language, I'm trying to cut back on cursing, but sometimes you have to curse to get the gravity of the situation. And I know that's a bad excuse, but I'm gonna take it right there. But I looked at it, and on the form to sign out and put the money and whatnot, it says send it straight to Wayne LaPierre, Executive Vice President. Doesn't say to the NRA, just says to him in Fairfax, Virginia. I'm like, well, wait, why am I sending it to you directly and not to the National Rifle Association?
Right.
I mean, why is the money going directly to them? Why is it going directly to you? That's my that's one of my problems. So,
Well, here's my question: is the NRA in your Capitol building defending your rights on a daily basis?
the only thing they did in South Carolina, not last year, but I think it might have been last year, but the only thing they did to support the Second Amendment in South Carolina was they supported the reciprocity. Oh, so actually, I think that was 2016, but they supported the reciprocity with Georgia, but with the open carry, they're like, we support it, but we're backing fully the reciprocity instead of the open carry. But we support both bills, is what the representative said.
And did the NRA do anything in your state to try to gather people together and use their resources and their power to try to make a great two-way rally in your state, Nightstryke? What I'm trying to get out of you here is that they're not representing us. They're not representing our specific needs. They're not there in our states defending our rights. We're doing that ourselves. We're doing all the hard work and we're paying these guys, and we're not seeing any change. And that's one of the reasons why I decided not to renew. I've got groups defending my rights at the grassroots level, or groups, sorry. And if the NRA is not going to be there to do it, if I don't see a visible presence, they're not going to get my money. And I'm sure that's going to make some people mad out there watching this, but I'm sorry, I got groups defending my rights. They're going to get my money. And what I like about our state organization, that you contribute whatever you want. You don't, there's no, you can join, it's free. You get all the benefits of somebody that doesn't pay. But if you want to pay, it all go towards the cost that they use to supply the person defending our rights at our state capitol.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much better it can possibly get than that. Okay, we need stuff on the national level and the federal level. I get that, but and by the way, my state organization was the one that put together the two-way rally. They're the ones that sponsored it and got everything set up and brought in the sound equipment and got permission for us to be there.
Okay,
and
Travis,
welcomed us when we got there. Yo,
Travis, stop stroking your own ego or your state group's ego. Okay.
No, I'm just trying to say that that's a group that gives a squat about our state, and if the NRA is not going to be there to do it, then why would I give the NRA my money?
Now that's another good point, but the problem is I don't have a state group like that. There are a bunch of small grassroots groups that say they're for it, but I haven't seen any activity out of them since like 2011.
Yeah.
I mean, I contacted all those groups. I went and contacted everybody I could, but the numbers were either disconnected, went straight to voicemail, or were not in service. And those that I emailed didn't send me an email back.
Here's my thoughts on this also. How do you feel about this, Nightstryke, when we hear videos like where Yankee comes out and he says that, the NRA does what they do because they need to promote their survival? That's why that's why we haven't seen major action or change, because if things were perfect and we didn't need their protection, they'd be a dying organization. The money is just too much for them to want to let that go. So how do you feel about that? They perpetuate it by acting the way that they do and doing what they do to keep themselves necessary and around in the eyes of gun owners.
So that's a good point. And what I have to say to that is, you're right. They've even though they're a nonprofit, they're trying to run it as it was a corporation, and they're forgetting that the money is one thing. If they're not utilizing or using their money properly, then they need to go and maybe get better accountants to fix their finances. Maybe everybody needs to tighten their belt, and maybe they should actually do what their organization is named and start being a proponent for them. It's actually true. If they're
also,
not
I'm kind of curious what
I don't want to be if they're not doing even just the base of that.
Yeah,
I don't want to be a part of it. And you're right. But, at the same time, I kind of want to keep it. But at the same time, I don't want to have to pay for it. I really don't want to.
Well,
give him money after the whole bump stock thing. And I know, well, Nightstryke, you're just that one guy that likes bump stock. Well, apparently I am the only guy in South Carolina that likes bump stocks. Apparently I'm the only guy on the Southeast that likes bump stocks. But you know what? I don't think that we should give away our rights for it just because of that. And I know the other night, a few days ago, not last week, the week before, I may have been a little down and out and maybe disappointed just because the factor that, I'm the only one that uses it. I'm the only one that, has showed any sort of support for it in South Carolina. But I'm the only guy, and I don't see anybody else doing it. And when you're the only person standing there alone, you feel like that guy in front of those tanks in fucking Tiananmen Square, where you're staring down the barrel of 105 millimeter guns. And you're only the one guy with, a college bag, and that's it.
Well, I think what you may or may not realize is, to you, it's not just about bump stocks. It's about rights being taken away that shouldn't be taken away.
And that a group that is supposed to be for protecting those rights does nothing but abuse its position and take credit for something they don't do. I mean, if you're going to support a position, then, hell, if another group that's on the state level is going for it in one state, instead of trying to take credit for something you had nothing to do in, actually send some people and start helping. I mean, how hard is it to send one or two guys to represent the NRA to help that group? How hard is that?
Because I know in my state, much like Travis, we do have a bump stock ban that was introduced last week or is going to be introduced in the Kansas legislature. And you can bet your butt that nobody from the NRA is going to be there. I mean, my state, the Kansas State Rifle Association will be there, but nobody from the NRA is going to be around, you can bet.
And watch out, Gary. They went ahead and tacked suppressors onto ours now, too. They put suppressors onto it. And not just bump stocks, anything that increases your rate of fire. So now all this whole can of worms that the NRA maybe could have stopped from getting out there is now showing up. And guess what? I got to go support the NRA so they can defend my rights on the state level so I can keep my bump stock, or I can still get my suppressor and it won't get banned because the NRA is going to back me up. Look what they did. Look at this whole snowball landslide thing it's now created, where all this crap's popping up in all these states where it wasn't even an issue. Now, granted, okay, we had the Vegas shootings, all right, but if the NRA had just vehemently come out and said, no, we are completely opposed to any ban on any kinds of firearms accessories, especially those that are already deemed as legal, that would have made things so we wouldn't even be having this question. I would have renewed my membership, even though I probably would have been doing so blindly as to what they really offer.
Right.
But I'm just saying that I'm not seeing what I want to see on the local level happen, and that's important to me. They didn't organize the rally. They didn't take their money and get it up and going, and they could have. NRA could have done that. They could have contacted everybody and said, all right, in every state, this is your contact person. We're going to meet here. They've got the time and the power and the money. And with technology, I mean, look at what Matt put together. Look what you were able to put together with just a few hours of time and no budget. You were able to bring people together.
Yeah, I was able to at least get one YouTube celebrity bigger than me.
And, hey, the NRA has no trouble getting flyers out to me 2 to 3 times a month and emails out to me and possibly text messages out to me to say, hey, we need your money. Hey, we need your support. How about hey, let's get a rally going in your state. This is your point person. Is that too much to ask as a gun owner? As somebody that wants to support their organization? I don't think so. They can do it. They can really do it if they want. They got the money and they got the power. They just don't want to spend it.
They want you to go to these Friends of the NRA banquet things and
donate money you have that you could probably spend on more firearms, so you don't miss out on something.
Right.
But no, they want you to spend that money so they get more money in their pockets, but they don't actually do a damn thing.
So we're talking NRA, huh?
We're talking the NRA
Just
because
a little bit, man.
My membership runs. I didn't shoot my card as I said I was. I held my anger, and I'm waiting it out. It expires on the 31st of this month, so we're talking about whether I should renew it or join a different organization.
I mean, that's a personal thing. I mean,
but I kind of don't want to do this alone. I I asked you guys to come on here and jump in here this evening because I want to hear what you guys have to say. I need to hear some opinions from some people I respect and I trust.
And also potatoes.
I know
There we
what,
go.
And also a potato.
I know what I'm going to do, and I already told you before, but I'll go ahead and restate it for the benefit of everybody who's listening right now. I've been a member since 2015, but I've never actually paid to be an NRA member. I've gotten gift memberships from tourists from buying firearms. Those expire on May the 31st of this year. I have no intention of giving the NRA any money. So as of 5/31, I will be a non-member, I presume.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you intend to buy any more Taurus?
Do I intend to buy any more Taurus? It's possible. That doesn't mean I'll send in that free membership thingy. I mean, they don't pay the NRA unless I ask them to pay the NRA. All I got to do is not send that paper in, and they won't give the NRA anything. I don't think.
Well, now see, I don't see a reason in not spending somebody else's money on the NRA.
No, I see the reason.
I think if I got a free membership,
just promoting the cycle of ineffectiveness.
But you're promoting them getting more money so that they can continue doing nothing.
But on the other hand, I did go ahead and send some money to the Gun Owners of America this fall and become a member of that organization. I did spend my hard-earned money on that, and I do pay money for a membership to the Kansas State Rifle. So I put the money where I think it's going to do some good.
Yeah, see, I've been a member of the GOA for a while, and I took my NRA money. My NRA membership lapsed end of December. In the last draw for me, I was probably leaning about 60-40, not rejoining anyways because of LaPierre. But what really got me is two things. One, the Arkansas Rifle and Pistol Association, which is our state association, is an NRA affiliate. You must be a member of the NRA to join that association. And so I emailed them. All right, let me start with this. I emailed them asking for help for the Capitol rally. They basically said, since it's not an NRA thing, then they would not help. Now, one of the board members did put a Facebook saying, and he showed up, but he said, I'll be there if anyone wants to join, but he did not say on behalf of the Arkansas Rifle and Pistol. He said himself, and he showed up for about an hour. I'll give him that.
Ghost, I think you run into the same situation, a similar situation that I'm running to. I don't have a state organization, but it sounds like your state organization isn't really a state organization in itself.
It's an affiliate.
They're just
an affiliate of the NRA. That's right. They're an affiliate of the NRA that they require NRA membership to be in the state organization. The second thing that happened is, as I emailed them and I said, I think that you're missing out on a lot of people that, especially right now where people are not happy with the NRA, would you guys consider opening up membership to people that aren't? Because there's floods of people leaving the NRA and people that will not join the NRA. And you're missing out on membership and numbers. And they said, basically, they told me no. The guy said that he would bring it up to the board member, but he can guarantee that it will not be discussed. So I said, okay, very well then.
I mean, it sounds like they're just doing the same thing the NRA is doing, but on a state level.
They basically are, which they do nothing. They're understand that Arkansas, I've said this kind of before, and I think there's a lot of states might like this. I don't know if Nebraska's like this or not with Travis, but Arkansas is a weird state. I would say the vast majority of people in Arkansas have guns, but we're also the world leader in duck hunting in Arkansas, and deer hunting's big. So they don't care about their guns except for 2 or 3 months of the year. They don't really care, you know.
Our people,
I will say
we're FUD heavy state too, but people don't really unless the representatives get phone calls about something, they'll just kind of go along with whatever legislation sounds sound to them, and it might not be necessarily good or bad. You know, we've got some ridiculous rules and regulations that have been pushed through, even though it's a very, I guess you could say, firearm friendly state, hunting friendly state, you know.
Right.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I'd say there's a lot of parallels between you said you're in Arkansas, right?
Yeah, they're probably very
similar. There's a lot of parallels between the two of us on terms of that kind of attitude that they have. So yeah.
The one good thing that is happening is we do have a governor, and Governor Hutchinson, who I know, and he's a good man. He is pro-gun. He used to be a spokesman before he was governor for the NRA. Now, I'm assuming, have you guys heard of Jan Morgan? She's on Fox News a lot, and she's a big-time pro-gun person. And she's from Arkansas, and she is actually filed to run against him in the primary for the Republican ticket for governor in 2018. Now, there's a lot of and she's outspoken about him being very soft on guns because he has never really come out in support, like 100% in support of constitutional carry. And every other year, see, like right now we're in a budgetary session this year. So the next year we'll have legislative session. And every year they come out with the constitutional carry. And we're a shall issue state. And it never even gets close to making it. And a lot of people are upset because the governor never puts his weight behind it. So she's called him out on it. Now, I don't know if she's truly wanting to run for governor or if she is doing this to make him up his game a little bit, which either way, I think will work out just fine for the gun people in Arkansas. That being said, I took my money that I was going to put to NRA, and like I said, GOA all the way, but I also gave some money to the SAF, which, if you guys don't know, it's a Second Amendment Foundation. And the reason why I did that is a GOA is a lot like the NRA as far as being the public eye and raising awareness. The SAF, if you're looking for a place, the great thing about the SAF is they're actually the ones that actually try to take municipalities and states and organizations to court. They're more of the judicial side of the Second Amendment. They actually are there to help people with court cases when they feel like the Second Amendment is being infringed. So that's why I support that side of it as well, because now you're getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I've seriously considered it. So,
I think if you have a state organization, honestly, Nightstryke, my personal opinion is if you have a state organization that is doing something that are trying to be involved in a game, then 100% support them. If not, then you're in the same boat I am. Our state association is absolutely a joke. And I don't know the answer to that is, except for trying to get a group of people to start a new association up. I don't have the time nor the resources to do that, though. You know, that's a big ordeal.
Yeah,
I don't have the resources to start one, but I have been talking with Coy, and he does want to start a newer, I guess, state rifle association, because we've got a bunch of small groups here that say they're for the Second Amendment, but they're all different names and they have different interests. But they haven't been active for like, was it 2018 now? They haven't been active for like 8 years.
Yeah, I might be stepping on some toes, and I might even be wrong about this, but this is just my personal opinion. You guys can tell me if you think I'm crazy or not. But I think there's a big difference between being pro-gun and pro-Second Amendment. There are a lot of people I think are pro-gun, but they don't necessarily care about the rights of the gun owners. Does that make sense? That's how I feel. I might be wrong about that, but people that say they like guns doesn't mean they necessarily care about the Second Amendment being infringed upon, you know?
Right.
Yep, absolutely. There's a lot of people that go, oh yeah, I love guns. And then like, as soon as you talk about, you know, what the Second Amendment actually means, they're like, oh, well, that's crazy. Take your tinfoil hat off, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and then I say, you know what? Why don't you watch the news for a little bit and look at what happens to people when you take their guns away from them?
That's right.
Yep.
Now go check some of these countries that fall apart overnight because they have a dictator pop up and take over control of the government, or
and remove all the guns from the people. Yeah, it worked. It worked great for Stalin. It worked great for Hitler.
Yeah, look at Venezuela, guys.
Venezuela, yeah,
they're blowing up right now. And they were
that's a great example. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's a modern industrialized country that has had resources and wealth and money, and the people don't have guns. And now they don't have any toilet paper. I mean, that's what it's come a modernized industrialized nation or country. And you know,
I mean, I swear to God, if somebody broke into my house and tried to throw me at gunpoint and take away my toilet paper, they would be full of holes, because God damn it, no one's taking my toilet paper but me.
Well, I mean, the point is you disarm the populace, you put a dictator in power, and then the people are scraping for crumbs out in the streets, you know. And this is a country that's got oil off their coast. They've got billions of dollars. It's
Oh
floating.
my
I mean,
gosh,
it's
yeah.
See,
and the
I
people don't
support
get
the right
squat.
to bear arms, and I support the right to keep my goddamn toilet paper for myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that might have been a bad analogy. I'm just saying that,
No,
we're
it was
talking
a
about how
great
bad.
analogy. Great. I love it. That's why I'm going on with the joke. But yes,
Do you want guns and toilet paper, or do you want leaves and breadcrumbs? What do you want?
I want guns and
Yeah.
toilet paper. I don't want no fucking breadcrumbs. But
Wow,
Yep,
that's
there you go.
that's an interesting turn.
Well, no,
No, just
you
joking.
disarm your populace. You see what happens.
now he's
So, I mean,
going
like I
with
said,
an
just watch
analogy. I'm
rules.
trying to stay within the analogy. Okay. I'm just,
Well,
There you go.
there's
There you
a lot to be said about that. Is when you, and it's not just a Second Amendment thing. It's all rights. If they take one right away, they start getting that power hungry, and these. I'm not going to call Venezuela a third world country, but there are these countries that are more of guerrilla warfare type countries that are dictatorship type. That they take one right away, they feel that power of I can do whatever I want, and the people can't do anything about it. And so when you start allowing one right to be taken, what's to say that all of them will eventually not be taken? That's a scary situation. That's how you get in those situations where, Castro's been in Cuba for, 50 some odd years. Why? Because he has a power that no one will step up to him. And if they do, he kills them off. And that's how some of these guerrilla warfare type countries live. And, that these people don't care about rights. They don't care about the people's rights. As long as they have the rights and the people in power have the rights. That's the problem.
When people start talking tinfoil, say, watch the news. I guarantee those are all countries where people are not allowed to own weapons.
Yep.
Guarantee it.
I mean,
because they don't want to allow the people to have any way of revolting against themselves. That's why we have the Second Amendment. And people think that the militia is for defending us against an outside threat. No. A local militia and the right to bear arms was honestly there to protect ourselves from our own government. A tyranny in a government that protects us from our own government to ever rise up against us. So that people forget that side of the Second Amendment also. It's not against an outside threat. A lot of it was to protect ourselves from our own threat.
Yep.
What did it?
Foil hat. Sorry, guys.
well, no. We're all Peckerwood
Conspiracy theorists.
conspiracy theorists, so.
No, there's a lot.
We actually believe in the message we convey instead of, being some half-assed guy who likes to post gun porn on a forum all day long and, doesn't really believe in the actual message or the Constitution.
Hey, Nightstryke, back to the NRA real quick. It has been quoted from the NRA directly that they have 5 million dues-paying members. At a minimum of $35 per person, that's $175 million per year that the NRA brings in. Now, granted, they might have to pay taxes on that. So $175 million per year.
No, they're a 501c.
501c.
They don't have to pay
Are
taxes.
they? So they are a not-for-profit?
They are a not-for-profit group, which pisses
hilarious.
Pisses me off even more because they're running it like a corporation. But they're a nonprofit.
They could have a lobbyist in every Capitol building and pay them $1 million a year to basically bribe our senators to keep our gun rights, like everybody else does, and they'd still have $125 million left over at the end of the day. By the way, that's not private contributions. Private contributions are somewhere around, I don't know. I've seen anything from like $80 or $90 million a year or something like that.
It's those are just dues. That's just the dues. Number.
So it's estimated they've got around $350 million a year rolling in.
What I'm saying is they have enough money. They take in enough money yearly that they could pay some guy like the minimum salary to go and represent one state in the United States. So they could have, a total of 50 states, right? That's how many states we have.
Yeah.
They could have one person in every state be saying the NRA supports this. I'm with the NRA and we support this bill, to try and fight back a lot of this stuff. Even though it's a lost cause in New York, New Jersey, and California, they can still do it just to prove that, they aren't backing down. But do they do that? No, they don't have anybody. They only have people in certain situations when they feel it's absolutely necessary. And
I would love to see LaPierre's salary I would love to see. I understand that, and if I'm not mistaken, isn't Brownell? He is not taking a salary. Is that correct? To be the president? Am I mistaken
believe
about
so.
that? But LaPierre's taking a salary. But I want to see. I want to see what the ILA's expenses are every year, and I want to see what we're getting out of the
Well,
ILA's expenses.
in American Rifleman magazine, every month they put in there, the bills that they were fighting against and what they were doing. But they're only estimated to be spending about $1 million a year in lobbying. Where's the other $174 million going every year?
Public money, yeah.
Where's what? If they're not for profit, they should have a balance sheet of zero plus whatever reserve funds they need to keep themselves running in case they have a zero dues year. That's pretty much how any they should really be spending back that $175 million, other than all the flyers and mailers and
which is enormous.
Yeah, I guarantee that they're spending their money on administrative costs, which is
that's what I want to know is exactly what the administrative costs are, because that's going to be outrageous.
Okay, we got some latecomers here, so we got Grim 90 has jumped in.
How's it going, guys?
The Reaper.
Doing all right, man. Doing all right.
Oh, we've got the Reaper, so don't fear the Reaper.
More cowbell, man. What's up, cowbell?
So,
and then we have AWAG.
Real quick.
AWAG, I know you're in New Jersey, but Grim and AWAG, are you guys or had you guys been members of the NRA?
I was
in 2015. Yes.
Okay, so I've been a member for a couple of years now. I'm torn at whether I should renew my membership on the 31st or whether I should tell the NRA to go take a hike and join like the GOA or even the Second Amendment Foundation. So
yeah, for me, this past year, the range I have a membership with no longer requires us to have an NRA membership. They prefer the state level or something, local. So as of, I think, summertime, my membership was up, and I've been bombarded with, hey, please subscribe, 10,000 emails, and no lie, junk mail, etc. So, but no.
Yeah. And that just makes me believe that the NRA is really just they're just riding the storm. They're not doing anything but just trying to get people to give them money and not do much else. If they're spending all this money on all this paper to send out to people and actually mail them, then, where's the money left for them to do anything? Because they're sending it out. They're literally giving it away.
So what I posted on the internal chat is the tax filing for the NRA for December of 2016. And they brought in $105,722,583 in 2016.
Just in December.
Oh no, that's I don't know if that's I think that's for the year.
That's got to be for the year, right? It has to be.
Yeah.
So they've got the money on standby to get down there, and they could really fight for our rights if they really wanted to. But again, they're not going to encourage.
They can hire 50 people to represent every state in the United States, and including the territories too. They can hire people to represent the territories as well, but they aren't.
Yeah. So, say what you want, but they could be doing a lot more for us. I can tell you that right now.
To tell you the truth, here in New Jersey, it's the hardest thing in the world because we have a really nice range near me, and it's got everywhere from I think it's a completely open 200-yard range where you can practice whatever the heck you want on it. They have a 5-yard, a 10-yard, a 15-yard, a 25, a 50, 100, and 300-yard range.
Wow.
And it's all well kept. But the downside to that is you have to be an NRA member. And, it's so hard for me to justify that because the NRA, honestly, in my opinion, has not done shit for New Jersey.
Or even on a local level, I'll sit there and say, let me ask you this. So this range you have, you must be an NRA member. How many NRA-sponsored functions does your range do?
They do...
Let When I say sponsor, not saying just put up a banner for NRA. I'm saying actually have a representative from the NRA show up to one of your functions.
Oh, pretty much never.
There you
but
go.
Unless you consider our what is it? Our range officers, they have to be NRA certified.
Yeah, but that's a whole different thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but other than that-
I know a lot of people that have ranges that are NRA, supposed to be NRA members, but the NRA doesn't really do anything for that range. So that's upsetting as well. If you're gonna affiliate with the NRA, if you're a range, and I'd make sure the NRA at least sends a representative, maybe to the yearly meeting or something, or a quarterly meeting or something. You know, that seems only right.
Yeah,
It's
talk
a
a little
real
closer
pain
into the mic,
because
A-Wag.
the New Jersey Gun Owners Association is doing. They're working. They're trying to work their brains out, trying to keep Phil Murphy from instating another assault weapons ban.
Yeah.
And basically turning us into California.
Yeah.
You know, Nightstryke, when you're on if you're teetering on whether or not to renew, I mean, I guess you just got to say, with the resources they have available, are you really seeing the change happening where you are and on a national level for what they have available for money? Are you really seeing it? If you're not seeing it, then you need to sting them in the pocketbook where it hurts the most. And maybe once you start to cut off their revenue, they'll start to behave. They'll start to do what they're supposed to be doing because they realize that they're not, you know, I'm just saying it starts with one person and then it spreads. And
That's
after
right.
the bonfire stock thing, you know that they're hemorrhaging cash from losing members.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at how many of us in this panel are deciding not to renew.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're just
I have
one
to
little
agree.
guy. You know, I mean, look at that. That's and it adds up. It's going to add up exponentially. So I'm not saying, you know, join if you want to, but I'd ask the question: why aren't you guys in my Capitol building defending my rights right now? When I get an email saying that, you know, they want to push for banning suppressors in my state and put a 10% tax on my ammo, the NRA should be there. I should have got this email from the NRA, not my local.
Yeah,
and it's great that my local's got my back, you know, but you know, I'm not seeing it. I'm not going to support somebody that does nothing for me.
Yep.
They're supposed to be there for us. They're a charity. They're a nonprofit. That means they're supposed to be directly in it for their benefactors, and we're not seeing it.
Okay, you guys know me. I live in South Carolina. I go to PSA all the time. So if I want to use the PSA range, I can, but they don't require you to be an NRA member to use the range. They just require you to pay the money. So, yeah, there's a cool thing there. But I don't need to, because you all know, everyone watching knows that I don't need a range. I have one.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, and this is and this is not just an NRA, but this is kind of how I sit there and try to, when I have like quote unquote big decisions to make in my life, is I'll ask myself, I'll just take this for example. It sounds like to me that you don't want to rejoin the NRA. And if you have to continuously try to find reasons or excuses to join the NRA, then that's your answer. You shouldn't have to be asking yourself, should I join? If you have to ask yourself, why should I continue to support this? Then you already have told yourself the answer. You're just looking for excuses now. At this point, you've pretty much already made your mind up. And that's a personal decision. I can't make the decision for you, Travis. None of us can. But if you have any decision, what I'm saying is, that's what I'm trying to say is this is how I make my decision, is if I have to continuously try to find a reason to support something, then I shouldn't have to support that, because I shouldn't have to look for a reason. I should be all in on that. I shouldn't have to, oh, well, they're doing this. No, I should either say, I'm going to support this or I'm not. And I know it's not that easy, but if you're having to ask yourself why I should support this, then you probably shouldn't, because your mind's telling you, why am I supporting this? Why am I having to think of reasons to support? Does that make sense? It may not make any sense. I'm saying is if you're having to continuously ask yourself, why should I continue to support this? Then you probably shouldn't. Because if you really do support something, there is no question that you support it. You just, there's no question in me supporting the GOA or the SAF. Right now, I'm 100% by what both those organizations are doing. I don't have to convince myself that I should support those. It sounds like you're trying to figure out a reason why to continue to support the NRA. If that's the answer, then why are you supporting them? I'm just saying, to me.
Here's another thing is, I was watching, I watch a lot of PragerU videos on YouTube.
Yep.
And there was this one, and it's like, it basically broke down, does it do good or does it feel good? And I've been
That's
looking
that's
at
a
the
good one.
NRA, and right now they're doing a lot of things that feel good but don't do good.
Right.
You know, it's the whole, oh, bump stocks are bad, so we don't need them anyway. They're useless, so let's get rid of them. It's a feel good measure. It doesn't do good. So I
I
don't
agree.
see. I mean, if you already have a range that doesn't need, you don't need to join the NRA to to basically use. And I know you use your backyard pretty much as your range, but
Well, because in my state I can, you know,
and if they haven't, and personally, I don't see anything farther than the state level when it comes to gun rights, because I'm just in such a secluded zone that
Yeah.
even with oh yeah, Minnesota gets suppressor rights. It's like it doesn't matter to me because I'm kind of stuck in New Jersey.
Right.
well, AWAC, I told you before, come down to South Carolina. We can start Nightstryke and AWAC Gunworks.
Night Wagon.
Night Wagon. I was gonna say the exact same thing, man. Great minds think alike.
Night Wagon Gunworks. There we go.
NYGHTWAGYN. That's the new term for 2018.
Yep.
Night Wagon. We got to get a bumper sticker of that.
What are you doing, baby? Just Night Wagon.
Just Night Wagon, man.
Night
Just
Wagon.
Night Wagon.
So,
God.
I was a member from the time I turned 21. My dad bought me my first 3-year. He bought me a 3-year membership for my 21st birthday, and then I stayed a member all the way until last year. It lapsed, and the intent was always to renew it. But then we had the 2A rally in November, and the Michigan Open Carry helped organize the rally in Michigan, and they were going over all the things that they had done on the state level, and I'm like, I don't hear any of this from like the NRA. I never hear about the NRA talking about what they do. And there was what was it called? It was Harbor Beach, Michigan. They didn't allow their city employees to concealed carry on the job, and there was a crossing guard. She open carried because she couldn't concealed carry, and because we're an open carry state, and they fired her, and because she had been concealed carrying for a long time before they decided they didn't want their employees concealed carrying, and basically it went to court, and Michigan Open Carry was there fighting in court with them and got them to admit that basically the city lied and said that their insurance would skyrocket if they allowed their employees to carry on the job.
Really?
And basically they got them to admit it was a bold-faced lie, and of course they won. So, and that was just in November.
Did she get her job back, or did she get compensation or anything?
She got compensation and her job back.
Nice. And she was allowed to carry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, and their memberships are $25 a year. I pulled out my wallet and signed up right there.
Absolutely. I saw a video probably this summer, and it was before Vegas and all of that. And I don't remember who it was on. It wasn't like one of the big channels. I just happened to see something pop up, and they were talking about the NRA being named the National Rifle Association, and his I don't know, argument against the NRA. This is before Vegas or anything. His argument against the NRA was it being named the National Rifle Association, that it is primarily to protect the rights of hunters. And he made a compelling argument. I'm not saying that everything he said was dead on or anything like that, but you know, when you name yourself the National Rifle Association, I would have loved to maybe have the National Firearm Association or something like that. But he made a compelling argument as to be more hunter happy than gun happy. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I thought it was an interesting point.
Well, here's the thing is, I know you kind of simplified it and broke it down. I haven't seen this video, so I don't know the ins and outs of the video, but you're basically saying is instead of rifle, which in my eyes, I love all kinds of rifles, like especially hunting rifles and the tactical combat rifle things. And but if it was primarily focused towards hunters, why didn't they change it to the National Hunters Association?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, not everything he said was right. I just that was one thing that stuck out to me. Started made me thinking, like, you know what? Maybe that's what it is they're branding themselves a National Rifle Association, getting all the fudge to send their money in every year. I don't know. I mean, it was, like I said, it was a compelling argument that made me think about that. And it's like, you know, that might have been the tinfoil conspiracy thing going, but part of what this guy was saying was true. And I was like, that makes sense to me. You know, that I can actually see that side of it, you know. I don't know. I think that my problem is there have been multiple laws and bills that were written that are not pro-gun, and I know G-Webs gets all, you know, but they've signed off on these, you know. I'm not saying they've written these gun control bills and all that, but they've signed off on the wording of them. And if you're the NRA and you're supposed to be the national spokesman for gun owners, then you should never sign off on any gun control bill, period.
Yeah. Now, here, see, my rules when it comes to supporting something are in basically 3 strikes you're out, and that's pretty much with most people that I know. Yeah. But what did it for me is, I forget what the first one was, but I know for a fact the second one was when the NRA kicked out the USCCA, their competition. I thought that was wrong. I forget what it was for, though. I don't know if it was SHOT Show or what was it? The NRA meetings.
I think it was the NRA show.
Because the NRA has concealed carry type insurance now.
That's right.
They didn't want the competition there at their show.
Yeah, I think that's wrong. That's morally wrong to me. And then the third strike was with the whole the bump stock ban. And with insult to injury is the HR 4477 that they tried to shove through.
Yeah. Well, I think that
how at the beginning when something happened, the NRA even did a knee-jerk reaction like everybody else, saying, "Oh, we support a ban on bump stocks."
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
They double backed on that, but still, I don't want them to be making knee-jerk reactions like politicians do just to get people on board with it, because that's not how you run an organization.
No.
I will say that they did not support a ban on bump fire stocks. What they did say was that they believe that the ATF should look at bump fire stocks, whether they need to be regulated or not. Yes. That being said, it's the same thing. It's exactly what I'm saying. I'm not defending them at all. What I'm saying is they should never bend under public opinion. If that's what they're going to be, that's fine. But don't sit there and say you're the strong arm of the Second Amendment when you will bend under public pressure every single time something happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a statement they should not have, not even have said. That's been my one thing with them the whole time. I mean, they just kind of, they seem to back things up when they know things are going to go well.
Well, yeah, it's a predictable win, and if they lose, then they know that they can strike more fear in our hearts to make us want to send more money in and prolong their survival. I mean, if they would have said, no, we absolutely will not take any, we will not, they'll say, no, it is not rational for us to consider doing it because it's not going to fix the problem. Then more people will be like, hey, all right, NRA, you got my money, man. You stood up to the media. You stood up to the government. You stood up to I'm a fan for life. Instead, it's like, well, yeah, maybe we'll sit down at the table and talk. No, give them an inch, they'll take a foot. Have they not learned that from what's been going on with our rights over the last 50 years,
No. You give them an inch.
God, man. And here's another question, Nightstryke. What was the GOA's response to a ban on bump fire stock?
What was their stance?
Oh, the GOA, they're
Oh,
like,
my
screw
God.
that. We won't back down 1 inch. And they're going on the news challenging everybody, saying, oh, the bump fire stocks will fix our problems if we get rid of them. And GOA president, representatives, guys like, no, you guys are wrong, completely wrong. So now I'm sitting there thinking, who should get my money? Who's going to get my
That's right.
contribution dollar to protect my rights, you know?
I'd go.
Nightstryke,
Am I local?
seriously, I want you tonight when you get off this, just spend 5 minutes of your life, and I know you're going to be on YouTube anyways.
Yeah.
Go search for Eric Pratt, CNN.
Yep.
That's all you got to do. And you're going to see Eric Pratt taken on CNN, and he's sitting there saying there is no compromise. This is an infringement, and he's sitting there on CNN howling at the moon at the top of his lungs, basically shall not be infringed. And if you look at Wayne LaPierre and Eric Pratt side by side, I'm taking Eric Pratt to a gunfight, every single day. Wayne LaPierre, you're taking a slingshot to a gunfight, Eric Pratt's the real deal.
Yeah, he does not let. I mean, he doesn't base his arguments. He doesn't get riled up, but he does speak up. He's and he doesn't let them entrap him in anything either. Which is the way. I mean, I love the way he sits there and fights. Yeah.
Yes. And he was talking. One of the CNN things, he was talking to some British guy, and the British guy kept talking this, that, and the other, and he just every single thing this British guy said, Eric Pratt said, "No, you're wrong." And I'm not talking my personal opinion. Here are the facts. We have 3 times as many guns as any other country in the world, and we don't even rank in the top 100 in gun crimes. Now, if you take suicides and all that out of it, we're talking gun crimes. We're not even in the top 100 in the world in gun crimes. He said, so what's the problem? And this guy says, well, that's not the right numbers. He said, no, it is the numbers. And he'll sit there and he was yelling at this guy saying, you're wrong. Here are the numbers. And the numbers do not lie. And I love that about him. He's not going to take no for an answer.
And the reason why...
No, Jared, it was not Piers Morgan. I'm not real sure who it was, but it was some British guy on CNN that I'd never seen before. Jared Walsh was asking for Piers Morgan, and it was not Piers Morgan.
No, it wasn't Piers Morgan on that one.
Yeah, Piers Morgan got fired for trying to say we need to get rid of the Second Amendment. Because not even CNN has balls, but they don't have enough balls to say, oh, we need to get rid of one of the founding amendments in our Constitution.
One of the primary amendments of the Constitution.
Yes.
Yeah. They don't have the balls to say to back that on air.
Now, if they want to get rid of the 17th Amendment, I'm all for that, but that's just me.
Quite honestly, I don't see why we need the Third Amendment, but there we go. Not in this day and age, but still, it's still an amendment that we need that gives us a right, so we need to keep it.
So, Nightstryke, answer a question for me. Why do you think you need to keep your membership? Well, what's making you want to keep it?
Well, if I go anywhere and say I visit friends or family in another state, and in order to use a range that they use, I have to be a member of the NRA to use that range.
Even for a guest pass for one day?
Well, some are like that, yes.
Okay.
Well, here's what I would do.
Yeah.
That or here's exactly what I would do, and this is what I have done to the range that I go to. I'm pretty close friends with one of the range officers there, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey," because we had the same conversation between the two of us, and I was like, "Is there any possibility that next year when I get off of, because I'm still on my parents' what is it? It's like in 5-year increments."
Oh yeah.
Their range membership, I'm on their family plan. And I wanted to move to my own plan because I want to go to the range more often instead of waiting for my parents, which don't have the enthusiasm to go as much as I do.
I'll pose as your father. Let's go.
But I'm talking to,
here, let me work on my jersey. AWAG, get over here. Get the rifle. Let's go to the range. Come on.
Let's go to the range. Let's put some rounds down.
Let's go to the range.
AWAG, hurry up. I'm ready. Over here already. Oh, hi. I'm AWAG's father.
AWAG to you.
AWAG, I don't know what his first name is. We just call him AWAG. Quit Nightwagging. Get over here.
Quit Nightwagging.
I'm telling you, man. I could be your father. We can watch the range whenever we want. So there you go. All right.
But
You've already got Crackle P
I
Jr.,
wanna-
so you want
I
to
would-
adopt AWAC now too?
oh goodness.
Nightstryke,
Man,
I'll take you.
I'll go
too,
to the
so.
highest bidder.
I'm too old to be your son.
The teacher and Travis.
Nightwagging, get over here. What?
If
Look
you
at the
guys can
twins.
find
Probably
me
guess
an,
the twins.
if you
They're-
guys can find me an
no, no.
AN94 parts kit that's legal in the United States, I will gladly be your son.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
No, that's all right. I got
but-
Crackle P11. I got to babysit anyway, so
Yeah, you do. That's enough
all
in its own.
seriousness, I would try
I don't
to
even know where he's at right now.
encourage your
He's with his
range-
mom this weekend.
No.
Yeah, he's
I would
chilling. He
encourage
said.
your range officers and
Yeah,
your
Yeah,
range,
sorry.
range owners to, instead of being primarily NRA, I would suggest to them to be either NRA or GOA or a state firearm supporter, because it's really kind of hard when it's basically a monopoly. It's like you can't join our range unless you buy this from company X. It's just like, well, I don't like what company X is doing or
Right.
the products that they're serving, and I have a company that does what they do better for cheaper. Does that work? Like, I'm just trying to think a little
No.
logically here.
No, I can see an argument for a range saying if you are an NRA member, let's say it costs, I'm just going to throw a number. Let's say it costs $120 a year. That's like $10 a month to be a member at this XYZ range. I can sit there and say, if you're an NRA member, your membership only costs $100. You maybe give them an incentive to join the
Yeah.
NRA, but not make it mandatory. I could see that side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my range doesn't require it, but they just ask you if you are. They say they encourage you to, but it's not a requirement in order to be able to shoot there.
That's how my gun
And it is
club
not, and it is not for guest pass either, for just a 1-day thing.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that the NRA, and I see, I've never been around a range that requires an NRA membership, so that's something new to me. But I wonder is that like a badge of honor or a rite of passage to say, well, you must be a gun guy if you're a member of the NRA, and you must not be a gun guy if you're not a member. And is that what it is? I mean, is
I
that
think it's an
like a
incentive
badge of
thing.
honor or what?
It's a good
I
old
don't know.
boy thing that goes way back in the day.
Yeah.
That you're for
Yeah, I
gun
mean,
rights
does the
if you're
NRA
with
give that
us.
range?
I know
Does that
people that have
range
any
get
tattoos.
benefits from the NRA or something, or
Yeah.
what?
So,
I think in the case of my range anyway, they are NSSF certified, which is an arm of the NRA. So that may have something to do with it. Shooting Sports Foundation.
yeah,
Right.
I've heard of them.
Oh yeah.
Now, does the NRA provide insurance for ranges? I mean, is that what it possibly could be or something?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so
They should
either.
be
Doc.
paying
don't
for
know.
the range insurance is what they should be doing. They got
Right.
money for it. So
Yeah, right.
$105 million floating around every year. You know.
Yeah, that goes to a few salaries.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Few is an understatement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It may be a few, just a few
I think it
really
is.
high salaries.
a few really high
I
salaries.
think it is just a few.
All right. So hey, Nightstryke, I'm going to go ahead and bail, but
I think you guys pretty much have convinced me to go join.
I'm
the
just saying,
Second
unless you see it
Amendment
happening
Foundation
locally,
and the
man, you know what
GOA.
my vote is.
But Garage Guns, it's too bad you're out there, but we need to make a South Carolina Firearms Association because there isn't one.
How
So get
about
on
we do an East Coast firearms correlation?
Wouldn't that have conflict with what was it, the Policy Gun Rights Coalition or something like that?
The Nightwagging Firearms Association, the NWFA.
There you go.
Well, it's,
Hey,
it's,
there you
be-
go.
it's better than the
WFA.
Crackle P11 Firearms Association of Kansas.
Yeah, I'm not affiliated with those people. Okay. And don't insult Gizzer or Gary either while you're at it. All right. Don't insult him.
Try not to, anyway.
Yeah, but I think you guys have pretty much convinced me to just not renew it this year.
See if they make any. See if you see them acting on the local level. See if you see them getting busy trying to organize rallies.
I've not seen them do anything.
And the thing is, they've got the money and they've got the manpower, and with technology, I mean, again, look what us little people were able to pull off. We had nothing. We had no budgets. We had nothing more than email and videos on YouTube to get people riled up. And they got every resource at their disposal, and they didn't do anything. I'm sorry. You're not representing my rights if you're not going to get out there and I mean, it's not even a question anymore. It's until I see some major change, they're not going to get my money. It's that simple. Why would I give somebody money that's not going to do anything for me? I know that's selfish, but there's no point. If you like the magazines,
That's
great.
true.
If you like the fact that they support a certain cause, great. Keep supporting them. But when it comes to protecting your right to have the guns so you can enjoy that sporting outdoors thing or whatever, and they're not going to support that, then there's no reason to stay with it.
No, that's true.
I guess I don't understand what anybody could possibly argue in favor of it, unless there's something major they're doing on a federal level that we don't see. But when you think about it, when you work on a local level, you're lobbying your representatives. Your representatives go to Washington. They're going to vote in your favor because they see that as what the people want or should be, right? Then what do we even need their federal defense for anyway? I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
maybe I'm making it too easy, guys. Maybe I'm simplifying it too much. I don't know.
I have had this little thought in my brain that even with the bump stocks, initially it might sound really, really bad, but the reason we have bump stocks is because they banned full auto. Now, for some weird reason, I have this thought in my brain that says, "Oh yeah, they'll try to push banning bump stocks in return for full auto." To be honest, it came to me in a dream, so I know it's gonna stay there as a dream. But it's a weird little thought.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, well. I still want a full auto Chris Vector.
And I want a Beretta 93R, but it's just not in the cards.
Well, at least the 93R you can somewhat get one. Because they were made from 1973 to, I think, 1989.
Yeah, you can get one.
You can get one if you have the money for it. But
yeah, but at least you can get it. Chris Vector, you can't even think about getting it.
Yeah.
I just want to put a suppressor on a 12-inch barreled AR with a stop.
Without waiting a year and a half and paying $20?
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Short barrel rifle.
Yep. They sell suppressors down the street from my house, but I can't buy one without waiting forever and paying $200.
I had a buddy of mine that just got his stamp, and it was 15 months.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
15 months.
Well, hey, real quick, there are Chris Vectors available on Bud's Gun Shop. So just to let you know, you can get a Vector for there's tons of them for sale, guys.
Yeah.
They're not
fully auto?
Oh, no, not full auto. I thought you were saying you couldn't even get a Chris Vector, period.
No, he's saying fully auto.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, there's no point for that gun if it isn't anyway.
Yeah,
so,
Garage Guns, you're the only person that says full auto is gay. Because you actually, I know for a fact, you have access to them. Cough, cough. I won't say anymore, but you're the only one that says that.
You can get a fully semi-automatic one, though.
Semi-aquatic?
How am I supposed to lay down cover fire for you guys if I can't go full auto anyway? Garage Guns, answer me that. How am I supposed to defend my homies?
If you've got a 320, just drop it. If you got a 320, just drop it.
He says, I'm not even a fan of burst. Well,
my backup's the CPX2. That ain't gonna do it.
Garage, you have access to use that stuff. Us normal civilians don't have that access.
Yeah. And I should have a right to lay down cover fire.
Some of us want that access. Some of us want the right to have that.
I'm not so sure I want you to have a fully automatic rifle, Nightstryke. I'm just saying. I've seen you shoot.
Well, here's the thing. I want...
Here's the thing.
My right to choose should be a right between semi or full. That's my right to choose right there. That's my right that I should have.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. Here's how I look at it. Is I believe that everybody and their brother should be able to own a fully automatic firearm to their hearts, as many as they want to their heart's content, if they're responsible about it. If you get an idiot that's like pointing it at the neighbor's house, then To be honest, I don't think you should have one. You know.
Well,
But
then
that's
you're
not my.
and I'll take that
another
a step
crime,
farther.
So that's not. It's like he's already committing another crime. Why
Yeah.
make the full auto illegal?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll take that a step farther. If you really are concerned about people and having full auto rifles, before they go buy one, go make them take a fully automatic rifle certification and safety class, and they have to have that certification with them when they go purchase one. So at least they've been taught how to shoot one, how to care for one, how to manage one safely.
Of course.
Not a problem. And to make them go take that, and they can't buy one until they have that certificate with them.
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem at all.
You know, I want to be able to build AK-74s to their back to their true form.
Heck yeah!
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I
Wouldn't that
want to
just
build
be
an
awesome?
RPK-74. I'm in love with the AK-74 platform.
I've never shot one.
I'd rather have a normal RPK in 7.62 by 39.
Have you even shot F545 RPK?
I don't care. I like 7.62 by 39.
Screw you. I'm gonna go buy both.
Yeah, I'll take one of each.
I'll take both.
Agreed.
You guys can go argue
I'm
with
not-
one or.
I mean, I'm not against the 5.45. It's just the 7.62 by 39 was first.
5.45 is pretty cool. Round.
True, but 545 has better terminal ballistics.
It has a lot better ballistics, you know.
Let's run it through the panel.
No, I'm a big fan of the
No,
7.
no.
Man.
That's not what this panel is for.
Let's run it through the panel.
No.
But I do love that 7.62 by 39 round. If I had to, I'd probably choose that over the 5. But the 5.45 is good.
The 5.45 is good, but it was their counter to the 5.56. Whereas, I guess 7.62 by 39 was their counter to our 30-06 308.
I don't know about
I really
that.
don't. I don't know the history of the 7.62 round. I just
7.62
I don't know.
by 39 basically started with the SKS,
Right.
which was.
But was it an answer to an American caliber?
No, it
or was that
wasn't
just
an
their
answer
own?
to an American anything. It was an answer
what I
to the
thought.
8mm Kurtz.
Okay.
Yeah, but the SKS was the Russian answer to the M1 Garand.
No, not entirely. No, it was
Because it
supposed
was
to be a support.
semi-automatic rifle instead of a semi-automatic rifle instead of the bolt
The
action.
SKS was never meant to be an answer to anything. It was supposed to be a support weapon for the RPD belt fed.
The RPD was 7.62 by 39.
They're both 7.62 by 39, so that they used the same ammo. So the Soviets basically thought that if they use the same ammo, it basically cuts down on magazines and other different.
It also
ammo
helps on the
costs for
manufacturing of everything. Makes it a lot more simple for the manufacturing of that ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out
The
that didn't
7.62
help at
by
all.
39 was an
You don't
answer
have
to
to-
the 8mm Kurtz.
Don't have to carry.
Okay, see, I never knew that. I never knew where the 7. I just thought that was, that was their version of their round that they wanted. I didn't know where it came from. It's interesting.
Lockjaw, I will hold you to that. Lockjaw out there on the YouTube side says he's got to go check his lotto tickets. If he wins, everybody gets a full
Well,
auto.
see, here's the
Yep,
thing:
I'm
is I'm
waiting.
taking a screenshot of this, so we have proof that it was said.
Yeah,
Okay.
take a screenshot. Save it.
Yeah, it's got to be a screenshot though, because if you take a picture with your phone, then it's fake because it was taken with a fisheye lens.
All right, so midnight says the 7.62 by 39 was invented because it will perform well in a very, very wide temperature range, sub-freezing to above 100 degrees. The
Yes,
tapered walls aid in feeding in poor conditions.
correct.
There you go.
I have to ask, how would you know you're a chef?
He's a chef, but he's a big AK guy.
He's just
Which
a
I
big
like
guy,
about him.
man. You
And
can't argue.
yes,
He is a big dude. I'll give him that.
I admit to wanting to stir a little shit up with Travis just because it's Mohawk Boy.
See, it's actually a faux hawk. Because if he was
Yeah,
a
it is. It's
mohawk,
a
his
faux
hair
hawk.
wouldn't grow back.
It would be a little taller, but his hair hasn't gotten. I think he's lost some more. So you're right.
I think he's afraid to shave. I think he's afraid to shave anything.
I think
hipster hawk, isn't it?
I think it's more of a balding faux hawk.
Oh,
That's
poor
good
guy's not here to defend himself. Oh,
I think
God.
Travis should dye his faux hawk and put it in a
Pink.
video. I think that would be
Yeah.
good. Pink.
Yeah.
Pink,
Hot pink.
pink and purple streaks.
Every month it's gonna get changed. Yep.
Hey, is Gary still in here?
I'm still here.
Hey, did you ever find the 10mm high point carbine anywhere?
No, I looked.
They were
Crazy.
for
Are they
sale on
just
Buzz
sold
when
out,
they
or
first came
what?
out. They were out for a short period of time.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
I hate to say
to
this, but
believe if
did
it's-
you guys check? I know this is a bad source, but if you're
Uh-oh.
really looking for one, did you check Gunbroker?
Oh, I thought he was gonna say something else.
I thought he was going to say buds.
No,
No.
I'm
Cheaper
not
than
going to
dirt.
say
No,
that.
are you going to say
Yeah.
cheaper than dirt? Oh God, don't do
Coach,
that.
God damn it!
I've bought from Buds.
Walmart.
I've had good luck with Buds.
I don't mind buds.
I've had better luck with Buds than I've had with classic firearms, to be honest.
Really?
Yes. Not that I've never had like an issue with classic firearms, but man, they took forever to ship my Canic that I bought.
Well, their shipping is a little high too. They're $25 or $30 on a gun, unless that's the minimum they have to charge. But they always seem to. They don't ever offer free shipping where PSA does. you know?
I don't shop at Buds because of certain situations.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what? I do know people that have had issues.
Please explain.
Okay,
There's a
Ex-girlfriend that works there, or what? You
no,
got
Yeah,
a
like,
child works there, or what?
back in 2014, there was
This is redheaded stepchild.
Yep.
there was a thing where they had released someone had released Bud's Gun Shop deals, and I may or may not have brought it to the attention that Bud's Gun Shop may or may not did have enough stuff in stock for said deals. They may have only had one or two of their special deals, and created a whole tiff about that. And apparently overnight, my account just disappeared.
That's wrong.
That's great.
Wow.
they
So-
struck you, Nightstryke.
There's
But
You
here's
got
the thing:
struck during the night.
they struck first.
True.
There's a
Nightstrike
local,
was stricken.
Mm-hmm.
There's a local range. G-Webs went there a couple months ago when he was driving around in the van or whatever. Top Gun Shooting Sports. They won't do business. Like, they won't even accept a package from Buds because they sent him a gun and the serial number didn't match the number on the paperwork.
What?
Yep. And and they would not get back with Top Gun about it for like a month.
Like they won't get one from them, or like
It's like somebody
they wouldn't
lost
even
their
let.
job.
They won't accept one. Like if you ordered one through them, like have it
They
shipped
wouldn't
to
let
them,
me
they wouldn't
order one
accept it.
They wouldn't let me. They would not let anyone order through them. And if one shows up, they got like their address like wrote down. Like if the package shows up, they will return to sender.
Wow.
Will not.
Well, good for them if they
accept
show up with a
anything.
different serial number. That's pretty messed up.
That is, and then they wouldn't get back with them to make it right. So I mean, what happens if the ATF walks in there and wants to see everything? Why is
Right.
why is this
That's
gun?
screwed?
Why do you have an
Oh.
unregistered or like an without a paper trail?
What are you trying to do here, guys? You know?
Right.
Oh man.
So yeah,
Versus
that's a
stag
pretty
arms.
big.
Well, and I can understand a clerical error, and I can understand that. But if they're not even going to get back to them when the question's asked, that's messed up.
It took a month. Took a month.
I mean, if I owned a business and I sent the wrong handgun to somewhere, I'd be like, "Oh shit, gotta fix this shit quick."
And I would fax something immediately or email something immediately just to cover the paperwork side of it. You know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still use
And then, of
faxes.
course,
do
you
they?
gotta-
They probably don't.
You got a pissed off customer that
Oh yeah.
his gun's there, but because somebody messed up on the
They
paperwork.
still have
he
the
can't
fax
get it.
machines because they get the FFL paperwork faxed to them because there's a lot of gun guys that don't mess with the internet or whatever. They still do paper faxing. So I think they still have fax numbers out there, but they're just not as popular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fax.
Just the fax, man. Just the fax.
exactly.
Fax machine.
Exactly.
Do you remember the original faxes that came on that roll paper?
Yeah, my grandpa still uses one in his office, dude. He's got a small brother fax machine sitting up on his file cabinet. He still gets some.
Wow.
Like the perforated edges with the holes in it. Is that
There was something I saw about a month or so. It was right before the new year, and it was talking about the previous new year of going into 2017. And a guy had gotten fired at the New Year's company party because he sent like 67 pages of almost got fired. Okay, my wife said he almost got for like 67 pages of like Lou Rawls lyrics or something to his boss. He just had a fax machine going for like 3 days. It was hilarious. Or 67 songs worth of lyrics or something. It was hilarious. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's one way to go.
That's great.
I think he got fired, and that's why he did that. It's because he got fired. He did that. And he said, "You want to fire me? That's fine. I'm gonna just light your fax machine up, dude."
I got wrote up at work one time because right before I was leaving, I went into my dad. My dad, he works in he's a clerk at the shipping office in the factory I work at, and I went in there and took a photocopy of me giving him the finger, like just my hand, and then I hung it up on his desk, and he didn't know it was me. And he like, I don't know. He talked to somebody because he was quite angry because he thought it was somebody else. Yeah. So I got wrote up over it. And then once he figured out it was me, he kind of felt like an ass for getting me wrote up.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm gonna use a New Jersey term here, but
oh God, no! Please don't.
I'm circling the drain here.
Okay.
Circling the train.
Night wagon. Are you night wagging some more?
He's night wagging.
Hey, Wag, get the rifle.
I'm tired,
Let's go to the
man.
range, son. Get the rifle. Let's go to the range.
See, Knight, if
right,
you
later,
kick
guys.
Sniggy off
Good
of
talk.
Hit or Miss and bring AWAG on as your co-host, it could be, instead of Hit or Miss, it could be Hit or Miss with Night Wagon.
Night wagon.
Get on that night wagon, baby. Get on that
Night
night wagon.
wagon.
Get on the
Wednesday
wagon.
night.
Ride the wagon.
See ya, AWAG.
Later.
Yeah, too bad we can't get AWAG on Clover's After Hours because we could be Night Wagon After Hours.
Oh, good.
Oh.
All right, no, we got to do that Wednesday nights.
You could do like a sweet
That's on Thursday nights.
of like a
Start
Jeep
your own
wagon
after hours
here,
on Wednesday, though.
all jacked
All right,
up on
Thursday night
monster
sounds good, I
tires.
guess. All right, later, guys.
Later,
Later, man.
later.
All right.
But,
The Nightstryke, are you feel okay with your decision? Are you all right with like I said, it's not like we've got a hatred for the NRA. They just need to change what
No.
they're doing. They need
no,
to change the resources.
I understand, but
If they really cared, they could be doing a lot more.
I
And
just
why don't
needed
they?
that
That's
extra
the question
push.
I'm going to ask.
that's why.
And I'll
That's
be the
why,
first person.
I want.
that's why I asked you guys.
I want
on
one
here.
excuse.
That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I'm reading everyone's comments out there on YouTube and commenting a little bit myself. But I needed that extra push to just tell me they're, that reaffirm it that they're not doing what they should, and that there's no point in supporting them because of it.
Right. And here's the thing. I'll be the first person to come right back to the NRA once I feel that they're doing what I would like for them to do. I'll be the first person to go back to the NRA once they start doing, in my opinion, the right thing.
I tell you what, I'll
We're
have
getting
my
things
people
done.
call their people and see if they'll actually show up at the rally next year.
Yeah.
Come on,
I mean,
Travis,
literally,
get it going.
literally. I'm telling you, man. It's just absolutely ridiculous that they're not representing every state. They're not in every state defending
I
us. They
agree.
got enough money to pay a lobbyist every year to do that. Hell, they could pay 5 lobbyists for every state and still have money left over. It's not for profit. What are they doing with $105 million a year sitting around?
That's an awesome
I
question.
mean, I'm just saying it's a lot of money, man. I know they got operating expenses or whatnot, but yeah, that's it. I'm
But
done,
like
done
you said,
ranting about it.
well, like you said, they've got another 150 million coming in private donations that are not even listed in the public revenue.
Yeah, I mean, they got people that
I mean,
donate.
that's-
I mean, they've got the money coming in. I mean, I don't get, Yeah. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. I want to see them. And here I do have a local group that will support me. They're going to get my money. It's that simple. Hell, I'm going to give them more than I gave the NRA because I feel like what they're doing defends my rights directly. Which quid pro quo eventually makes its way back to the federal level when my representatives go to vote for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Right.
So
Well, see, I wish I had a state organization that did anything.
Well, I think all of
don't
us,
care.
if we had the time and resources and there was enough revenue around, any of us would be willing to do something like that. You know, I mean,
Oh,
we've got
100%. Yeah.
you know, the lady that does it for us. She has a full-time job and she's got kids, but she does it because that's, you know, it's what's right. It's what needs to be done, and that it takes dedication to do that. You're giving up your life to do that. You know,
That's right.
anybody could do it if they
To do it right. To do it right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's in it 24/7. You know, she'll go up there any time of the day to go speak out against a bill. So I mean, I'm just saying that it just takes one person that gives a crap, that really can do it, that has the time and resources to make a difference in the state.
All right.
All right, man.
Well, I guess in closing, you guys gave me that push that I needed, so I'll work on joining those groups. So thanks, guys out there in the chat, for giving me your opinions, give me your comments. Thank you guys here in the panel for helping me out. I'll join these other groups, and we'll try and make 2018 the best damn year we have. So
there you go.
With that, I'll see you guys later. You guys take it easy. We'll see you Tuesday night, 9 o'clock.
Peace.
See ya.